Hi, YouTube world, everybody out there. Thank you for deciding to view my talk show. I'm Gabriel Flores, also known as the one and only Maybe Lee. The talk show is a wonderful talk show I've put together to basically um, take my understanding and knowledge and stuff to the next level. And the way I do that is each episode I present 2 points, two main points. The first is something about me, and the second is another topic that I choose to talk about with it at the same time. And, we're coming up on the finale, which the finale is in 5 days and lasts 3 days. And I encourage you guys to stick around for that finale because it's really something special. It's basically me turning a negative into a positive. So I end this talk show on a positive note, and I think that's important for the audience out there, for everybody out there in YouTube world. You get to have a positive um, ending which is rare to come by these days. Anyways, the finale is like the mountain in my life and features a famous producer. Right now, we're currently in the climax of the talk show, which basically the climax is the culmination of all my secrets to this life. We have 2 more days remaining of the climax, and then we jump into the finale. So stick around, guys, for that. It's going to be really special. If you haven't already done so, go back to my playlist, and check out the other episodes to this talk show. Get caught up on what we've been talking about. A little bit more about this is I have 42 episodes in all. We're almost to 42. We're in episode 30 something. All 42 are pre-planned. We're pre-planned before the airing started, before I started airing. So basically, I went through. Talk show 1 is going to have these 2 main points. Talk show episode number 2 is going to have these 2 main points. Episode number 3 is going to have these 2 main points, all the way up to 42. Each morning, I go through and I look at what the 2 main points are, and I write a thesis for the personal information I have, and then I do research on the other topic if I need to. If not, I just gather my ideas on everything, and then every day at 3:30 I review what I already went over that morning. So that way at 4 p.m. every day I'm ready to start recording for 17 minutes straight. And those are basically the benchmarks of the talk show, along with a couple other things, but those are just mundane things on a checklist that I have to get to every day in order for this thing to happen, which is just day-to-day type stuff. And that's basically it. My knowledge of the earth is today's topic. When I talk about my knowledge of the earth, what I mean is basically information I have about locations that exist atop the earth. When I say locations, just special type of places, places that are unique, geographically unique. Knowledge of cities, not just cities, but characteristics of the cities too, I guess you could say. But mainly, roads, where roads will take you and stuff like that. So when I talk about my knowledge of the earth, I'm mainly talking about my knowledge of where unique geographical locations are at on top of the earth, and that I can actually get there. And, I prove through the days that it is possible for me to get there. And so, that's something that's kind of, it doesn't seem that exciting, but it is exciting because there are so many cool places that seem out of reach until you start thinking about it. Well, if I really wanted to get there and I don't have a car or I do have a car, this is how I would get there. But if you don't know that the place exists, then you're never going to want to go there. And so, that's why I encourage people to always continue learning about stuff, about the earth, places, just learning about the earth in general. Because the more places you know about, the more places, the bigger probability you'll have of wanting to go somewhere cool and figuring out how to get there, which just adds excitement to your life. So that's what I mean when I say knowledge of the earth. I also am referring to certain things, tricks that are tricks basically that exist here on the earth. And when I say tricks, what I mean is the horizon. Because as you guys know, the earth isn't flat, but when you see a horizon, it makes you think that the earth is flat. So that's what I mean. Giving you specific information about the horizon isn't really practical. I just encourage people to learn about the horizon, because you'll see there's some stuff associated with the horizon that'll make you think twice and stuff like that, and just give you a little bit more insight. I like to be knowledgeable, and I can point you guys in the right direction. That if you want knowledge of the earth, that's one of the places you want to look at, is the horizon. And also another trick that exists on the earth is the place where the sky and the ground meets is another trick. Because one example I can give you is if you're angled up at a certain angle and the ground is the ground is visible, and it meets directly up with the ground. But if you angle down like this, then you might have a house that comes into view and the sky meets up with the house. And so that's what I mean, that where the ground and the sky meets, it's tricky. And I don't even know if that makes sense, but these are just weird things that I've looked at in the past. What I encourage you guys to do is go outside and try to figure out where the ground and the sky meets. When you're standing outside and you're staring in front of you, where is the sky? Is the sky visible right now? For me, the sky isn't visible. And then if I open my blinds right here, the sky probably wouldn't even meet the ground because there's houses right there and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. I don't even think that example. If the Yeah, so that's just another thing to look at. That's what I talk about. That's what I mean about the knowledge of the earth, and then just exploring things such as how to get to different places by different methods, by walking, riding your bike, driving, and notice the differences between the two. Are there differences? You would think, yeah, it's going to be easier to just drive to the store. It's going to be faster and you're going to expend less energy than walking. But if you think about it, when a plane, something that's super high up to the ground, flies in the sky, the number of miles to the location is shorter, and they get there faster just even naturally because of how high they are. So you would have to think, well, if you're super low to the ground, maybe walking, or you're a really short person, or you're in a go-kart that's super low to the ground, then there's going to be something up. Then it would be further naturally then, because something that's high up in the sky has less miles to travel to any two given points on the earth. So if you're lower to the ground, that means you're going to have more. It's going to be, the miles are going to be longer, further apart. Every time that I walk, I feel like I get to the place faster. Like my stride, it feels like my stride goes faster than anything else traveling on the ground, on the earth. Even though there's cars passing me by, I feel like that I can get to the place that I'm going faster when I'm walking. I feel like walking is faster than um, driving a car. But we all know driving a car is going to be faster, but it feels that way. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. Also, I know of lots of trails. Trails are really cool because it really gets you in a different mindset if you want to go be at one with nature. The way you do that is through trails, through a trail. You have to know where trails are at to go, but you always wonder, how did these trails get here? Because it's like, this is in the middle of nowhere. There's not even that many people out there. This trail goes for miles and miles. Are you telling me somebody was really out here and made this trail, or so many people traveled along this route that eventually turned it into just a beaten path? But I have a lot of insight into different trails in different states and cities that I know about, and stuff like that. I really like looking at trees. I like, especially palm trees. Palm trees are so beautiful to look at, to have on your landscape, and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just random. Trees are just a part of the landscape it's really just really nice, and they're also a magical thing too. Trees are another, because they're a living thing, but they don't look like a living thing, but they are. So you have to always remember they are a living thing. Trees are a living thing. And the dirt on the ground is kind of how this dirt got here. is weird to think about. When I was a kid, I used to like to dig in the dirt. I used to like to play in the dirt, and I still like to get my hands dirty even now. And it's just something that's associated with the earth is dirt. So yeah, and 75% of the earth is water. The moon is the most critical part to behavior on the earth. But somebody who looks like they have a lot of information about a lot of knowledge of the earth and information about the earth, and just technical stuff, is Obama, President Obama. He looks like he has a lot of information related to the earth. I don't know if it's true or not, but when I think about the earth, knowledge of the earth, he's somebody who, when you look at, you're like, he knows something about this earth that we don't know about. Or he has just a lot of insight, not necessarily that we don't know about, because I'm sure he would give us the information if we wanted it. But it looks like he just possesses the knowledge of the earth. And so that's cool. That's kind of cool for somebody to think of you. I think, if somebody thinks that of you, it's would be kind of like a compliment in my eyes. Recently, he attended a Jay-Z concert. I thought that was pretty cool. I saw him on the news. He was standing in the booth, in the VIP booth, watching Jay-Z perform. Him and Michelle Obama were watching the concert from a booth. It was pretty cool. And I also remember another popular image of him when he left office is him fishing in the ocean. Yeah, he was fishing in the ocean. It was right after he left office. And I remember it was on the news for a while. It was a popular image. So that's kind of indicative of the person he is after office. I saw him on the campaign trail for the recent elections that popped up. I haven't heard him speak too much really after he left office. But as president of the United States, he was the first black president of the United States. And he won the first time he won. I'm trying to think who he went up against the first time. I know he went up against McCain in one of the presidential races. I think that was the second one. The first one, I can't remember who he won against. Oh no, Hillary Clinton. Was it Hillary Clinton? No, Hillary Clinton was Trump. Um, I can't remember, but I know for sure in one of his campaigns he went up against McCain. And so, but yeah, he, as the first black president, he accomplished a lot of stuff, and he made he kept the good name of being president, which is good. He didn't get into office and do a bunch of crazy stuff. He he was president, and he was successful as a president. He came into office during wartime, and he stopped one of the wars, but the other one continued. Well, no, did he stop both of them? He stopped the one in Iraq. I don't know if he stopped the one in Afghanistan. And he passed some big pieces of healthcare legislation and stuff like that. And he was really, a popular face in the office and stuff like that. So I think he kind of set the tone for Trump to go for president, because Trump is like a pop icon type of person as president now. But that's everything I have today, guys. We'll see you guys next time.